In 1948, a retired postal worker in rural Kentucky had no pension, no savings account, and no safety net. He died at 81, leaving his family a paid-off house, 2 rental properties, a chest freezer full of food, and $11,000 in cash hidden inside a coffee can behind the water heater. Nobody taught him investing. Nobody gave him a windfall. He used 23 tricks from this list, and number 3 alone added $400 a month to his income without him ever leaving his property. Number 1 is so simple it sounds like a joke. It is not. Hi, my name is Lester, and this is Forgotten Wealth Tricks, the channel where we dig up the financial knowledge your grandparents actually used before the banks, the credit card companies, and the financial gurus convinced everyone that real wealth required a broker, a password, and a monthly subscription fee. Number 25, the cash-only week. Before debit cards existed, before tap-to-pay, before your phone could accidentally buy something while it sat in your pocket, Americans spent cash. Physical, countable, finite cash. And here is what happened when the money in your wallet ran out. You stopped spending. Revolutionary concept. A retired school teacher in Ohio tried this in 2022, or after her credit card bill crept past $3,000, and she could not explain where the money went. She pulled out $200 in cash on Monday morning and told herself that was the week's budget. By Friday, she had $41 left and had not suffered once. She had simply stopped buying things she did not notice she was buying. Do this 1 week per month. Just one. Track what survives the cash discipline and what disappears. What disappears was never necessary. What survives is your actual life. The gap between those two numbers is your first savings. Number 24, the freezer stockpile method. Your grandmother did not shop every week because she was bored. She shopped in bulk when prices dropped, and then she did not go back until the shelves she built in her basement were nearly empty. A chest freezer in 1955 was a capital investment that paid dividends every single month for 30 years. The math is identical today. Ground beef goes on sale for $2.99 a pound. You buy 15 pounds. You do not buy ground beef again for 6 weeks. A chest freezer costs about $150 used. It pays for itself in the first season if you use it correctly. Seniors living on fixed incomes lose hundreds of dollars every year buying groceries at full price out of habit. Buy low, freeze deep, spend less. Your grandmother called it being sensible. Grocery stores call it a threat to their profit margin. Number 23. Buying clothing at end-of-season sales. In 1960, nobody bought a winter coat in December. They bought it in February, when the department store was desperate to clear the floor for spring inventory. And the coat that cost $38 in October was suddenly $14. Your grandfather bought next winter's coat while wearing this winter's coat. He was not cheap. He was paying attention to how retail actually works. Stores cannot warehouse seasonal inventory, so they will discount it to almost nothing rather than store it. A senior who buys one season ahead on clothing, outerwear, boots, and heavy knits can cut their annual clothing budget by 40 to 60%. Do it for 2 years and you will never pay full price for a coat again. It takes discipline and a little bit of closet space, both of which are free. Number 22, the utility audit trick. In 1970, a retired engineer in Michigan sat down with 12 months of utility bills, a yellow legal pad, and 2 hours of patience. He found 7 things he was paying for that he either did not use or could reduce without noticing any difference. And he cut his monthly utility costs by $31. That was serious money in 1970. He did the same audit every single year for the rest of his life. The modern version of this is even more powerful because the waste is even bigger. Streaming services you forgot you signed up for. Insurance riders on things you no longer own. Phone plans designed for a 25-year-old who streams video all day. Sit down with 3 months of statements. Write down every recurring charge. Ask yourself when you last used each one. Some of what you find will genuinely surprise you. Number 21. Renegotiating every bill you pay. Here is something nobody tells you. Almost every bill you receive is negotiable. Cable rates, internet rates, insurance premiums, medical bills, gym memberships. You are still paying out of guilt. In 1960, your grandfather walked into the furniture store with cash in his hand and offered less than the price on the tag. The salesman took it. That exact leverage still exists. Call your internet provider and tell them you are considering switching. They will offer you a lower rate within 4 minutes. Call your insurance company and ask if there are discounts you are not receiving. Call the hospital billing department and ask for a payment plan or a reduction. Seniors who do this systematically once a year across every recurring bill they pay routinely save between $800 and $2,000 annually. Nobody sends you a letter telling you your bill is negotiable. That is the whole point. Number 20. Renting out a spare room or garage. In 1950, census records show that nearly 1 in 5 American households had a paying boarder under the roof. A spare bedroom was not wasted space. It was a monthly check. A widow in Pittsburgh rented her upstairs room for $9 a week in 1952. That covered her entire mortgage payment. Today, a spare room in most American cities rents for between $400 and $900 a month on platforms your grandchildren can help you set up in an afternoon. A detached garage rents for $200 to $500 a month to someone who needs storage or a workshop. Seniors sitting in 4-bedroom houses with 2 empty rooms are leaving thousands of dollars a year on the floor. Your grandmother did not leave money on the floor. She put it in an envelope and labeled it. Number 19. Selling Divide and Conquer garden produce. A packet of zucchini seeds costs $2.49. One packet, properly planted and watered, produces enough zucchini over a summer to feed a small village. I say that with love and with personal experience because I once planted 4 zucchini plants thinking I was being modest and spent July apologizing to neighbors. Here's the financial point though. A well-managed kitchen garden plot of 20 by 20 feet can produce $600 to $900 worth of organic vegetables over a single growing season. Tomatoes, herbs, pole beans, lettuce, and peppers are the highest return per square foot. Sell the surplus at a roadside stand, a farmer's market, or through a neighborhood app. The startup cost is under $50. The return is not passive income. It is honest, satisfying, sun-in-your-face income that also happens to feed you. Number 18. Turning your car into a delivery asset. Your grandfather would not have believed you could earn money just by driving somewhere you were already going. And yet, here we are. Seniors with reliable vehicles and flexible schedules are earning between $400 and $1,200 a month, delivering groceries, prescriptions, and meals through platforms that require nothing more than a smartphone and a clean driving record. This is not a career. It is a tool. The retired electrician in Florida who does 3 hours of grocery delivery on Tuesday and Thursday mornings and earns enough to cover his electricity bill every month is not running a business. He is doing what every previous generation of Americans did instinctively. He is turning idle time and an existing asset into money. The car was sitting in the driveway anyway. Number 17. The consignment store flip. Your attic is a store that has never been open. Every senior home in America contains furniture, clothing, kitchenware, tools, and collectibles that are worth real money to the right buyer. Consignment stores take your items, sell them, and give you 50 to 60% of the sale price. No yard sale setup. No strangers walking through your living room. No negotiating with a man who offers you $3 for something worth $40. A woman in North Carolina cleaned out 2 closets and a storage room in 2021 and walked away with $930 over 3 months through a combination of consignment shops and one Facebook Marketplace post. She said it felt like finding money she had already earned. She was not wrong. That money was always there. She just finally went and got it. Number 16. Selling handmade goods at farmers markets. This one is older than the United States itself. Before there were shops, there were markets. Before there were markets, there were people with skilled hands and neighbors who needed things. A retired seamstress, a woodworker, a quilter, a jam maker, a soap crafter. These are not hobbies. These are businesses that require nothing more than a folding table, a handwritten sign, and a Saturday morning. Booth fees at most farmers markets run between $20 and $60 for the day. A quilter in Tennessee who sells 2 quilts per market at $140 each walks away with over $200 in profit after fees and materials. She does this 9 months of the year. That is not pocket change. That is a car payment, a utility bill, and a grocery run every single month. Number 15. Knife and tool sharpening routes. A sharp knife is not a luxury. It is a safety tool, a cooking tool, and the thing standing between a chef and a trip to urgent care. In 1975, a sharpener driving a painted van through suburban neighborhoods charged $2 per knife and serviced 40 homes a day. Today, a mobile sharpener with a quality belt grinder charges $8 to $12 per blade. Restaurant kitchens alone will keep you booked solid every week. One operator in Colorado posted his annual numbers publicly last year, out of what I can only describe as a magnificent stubbornness. $86,000 in revenue, $17,000 in expenses, nearly $70,000 in profit, working 3 days a week. The startup equipment costs under $500. The skills can be learned in a month. The customers are literally everywhere. Number 14. Chair caning and wicker repair. Walk into any antique store in America right now and you will find beautiful, solid wood chairs with broken cane seats priced at $40 to $60. Those same chairs, properly recaned, sell for $300 to $400. A skilled caner charges between $175 and $400 per chair for the labor alone. Materials run about $20. The trade nearly disappeared when plastic furniture took over in the 1970s, and nobody bothered to replace the craftsmen who retired. Now, mid-century furniture is back in fashion, and there is almost nobody left who can do the work. A woman in North Carolina has a 6-month waiting list and grosses about $70,000 a year from a converted garden shed. She learned the 4-strand weave pattern from a library book and a YouTube tutorial. The hardest part, she says, is believing you can charge what the work is actually worth. Number 13. Alteration and mending services. Half of the clothing in America does not fit the person who owns it. The other half fits fine, until it does not, and then gets thrown away. In 1965, every dry cleaner had a tailor in the back hemming pants for $3. Today, a basic hem runs $30 to $45 at a chain alterations shop with a week turnaround. An independent home-based tailor charges $25 and finishes in 2 days. A skilled senior with a quality sewing machine, a good iron, and the ability to do invisible hemstitch can handle 8 to 10 alterations a day working from home. At an average of $25 per piece, that is $200 a day. The wedding industry alone can keep a single alterations specialist permanently booked between March and October. Bridal alterations on one dress regularly run between $400 and $600. Number 12. Small appliance repair. When a toaster breaks, most Americans throw it away and buy a new one for $22. When a coffee maker stops working, they replace it. When a standing fan wobbles and squeaks, they leave it on the curb. Your grandfather did not do any of those things. He unplugged it, turned it upside down, found the problem, and fixed it. Small appliance repair requires basic electrical knowledge, a few common tools, and the patience to look at something broken and believe it can be unbroken. Most small appliance failures trace back to a handful of common faults: a burned wire, a failed switch, a clogged filter, a worn motor brush. Learn those 10 faults and you can repair 80% of what walks through your door. Charge $35 to $65 per repair. Advertise on neighborhood apps. The people paying you are the same people who were about to throw it away. Number 11. Selling firewood seasonally. A standing dead tree costs nothing. A cord of seasoned hardwood in the Northeast United States sells for $350 to $900 delivered. A used hydraulic log splitter costs about $1,500 and lasts 20 years. A man in Vermont posts his numbers online every winter, apparently for the same reason some people argue on the internet, just because he can. Last season, he sold 72 cords. After fuel and equipment costs, he walked away with $38,000, working 3 days a week between October and February. He retired from teaching at 58 because the firewood paid better. I think about that sentence more than I probably should. A teacher retired at 58 on firewood money. Your grandfather's woodpile was not a chore. It was a portfolio. Number 10. Dividend reinvestment plans. In 1962, a janitor in Vermont started buying one share of stock at a time, directly from companies like AT&T and Procter & Gamble, with no broker and almost no fees. He reinvested every dividend automatically, letting each payment buy more shares, which earned more dividends, which bought more shares. He never picked hot stocks. He never timed the market. He bought slowly, consistently, and never sold. When he died in 2014 at age 92, his estate was worth $8 million. His name was Ronald Read. He wore flannel shirts and drove a used Toyota. Nobody knew. Dividend reinvestment plans, called DRIPs, still exist today. Most major companies still offer them. You can start with a single share. The trick has not changed in 60 years. It just stopped being taught. Number 9. Tax lien and county auction investing. County governments have been auctioning off tax-delinquent properties since before the Civil War. When a property owner fails to pay their taxes, the county seizes the land and sells it publicly to recover the debt. In the 1940s and the 1950s, sharp-eyed Americans attended these auctions the way other people followed baseball. A property worth $5,000 with $300 in unpaid taxes could be purchased at auction for as little as $300 plus fees. Some families built entire real estate portfolios this way. Bought cheap, held patiently, sold when the area developed. The system still operates in all 50 states. The auctions are publicly listed. The bidding starts at the unpaid tax amount. Most Americans have never attended one. Not because it does not work, because nobody told them it existed. Number 8. Selling on installment. The layaway mindset in reverse. Before credit cards took over, Americans used layaway to buy things they could not yet afford. You picked the item, the store held it. You paid a little each week. And only when the balance hit zero did you take it home. No interest, no debt, no impulse. Now flip that around. If you make something, grow something, build something, or restore something worth more than most people have in cash right now, offering installment payments makes your asking price accessible to buyers who would otherwise walk away. A furniture restorer in Georgia started offering 3-month payment plans on restored pieces priced over $500 in 2019. His sales doubled. The items were the same. The price was the same. The only thing that changed was he stopped making buyers feel like they had to choose between wanting something and affording it. Number 7. Barter networks and skill trading. Before the IRS made everything complicated, and before anyone needed an app to find a neighbor, Americans traded labor like it was currency. The mechanic fixed the dentist's teeth. The dentist fixed the mechanic's car. Nobody exchanged a dime. In rural communities through the 1940s and 1950s, these barter arrangements were so established that some families went entire months without spending cash on services. Your value was not your salary, it was your ability. What can you do that someone else needs? An accountant who trades tax preparation for roof repairs is not doing anything unusual. He is doing what every American with common sense did before the modern economy taught everyone to mistrust their neighbors. Local Facebook groups and neighborhood apps have accidentally rebuilt these networks. The infrastructure is there. Most people just forgot they are allowed to use it. Number 6. The envelope budget rebuilt for seniors. Your grandmother cashed her husband's paycheck on Friday, came home, and divided the bills between labeled envelopes: rent, groceries, electric, church, savings. Each envelope got its exact share, and when the grocery envelope was empty, you ate what was in the pantry. No exceptions. No borrowing from the rent envelope. No negotiating with yourself in the checkout line. In 1955, the average American household earned about $4,400 a year and managed to save nearly 8% of it using nothing but paper envelopes and the self-respect not to cheat. That savings rate is higher than what most Americans manage today while earning 10 times as much. The system worked because money you could hold got spent differently than money you could not see. Tap a card, feel nothing. Open an envelope and count what is left. Feel everything. Dave Ramsey made millions repackaging this as a revolutionary idea. Your great-grandmother did it for free. Number 5. House hacking the senior way. After World War II, a young couple could buy a small duplex with an FHA loan and almost nothing down, live in one unit, and rent out the other. The rental income covered most or all of the mortgage. The family effectively lived for free while building equity in an income-producing property. Many did it again with a second duplex, then a third. This is not ancient history. Seniors today who own homes with finished basements, detached garages, or mother-in-law suites are sitting on income-producing assets they are not using. A basement apartment rents for $600 to $1,200 a month in most mid-sized American cities. That is not a supplement to your income. In many cases, that is your income. Your house was never supposed to just be where you slept. It was supposed to work while you slept. Number 4. Growing and selling specialty herbs. Here is the one that surprises people every single time. A 4x8 raised garden bed costs about $60 to build and fill. Plant it with culinary herbs: basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, lemon balm, and lavender. Dry them, bundle them, and sell them at the farmer's market, through a neighborhood app, or directly to the 3 restaurants within 2 miles of your house who would genuinely rather buy local dried herbs than pay the distributor markup. Specialty dried herbs sell for $8 to $15 per small bundle at markets. A productive 4x8 bed can yield enough dried product over a season to generate $300 to $500. Scale to 3 beds, and you have covered your grocery bill for a month. Scale to 10, and you have a real small business growing in your backyard. The startup cost is less than most people spend on one dinner out. Number 3. Teaching what you know for cash. In 1962, nearly 1 in 4 American men held some form of second income. Not a gig, not a side business with a logo and a business plan, but real working knowledge converted directly into cash. Your grandfather was a machinist by day and a furniture refinisher on weekends. Your grandmother sold baked goods, took in sewing, and ran a small mail-order business from the classified ads in the back of the Saturday Evening Post. Here's the modern version of that same instinct. Every senior reading this has 40, 50, or 60 years of accumulated expertise in something that someone younger desperately needs to learn. Teach it, locally, through a community center, a library program, or a simple ad in a neighborhood group. Charge $40 to $60 per session. A retired plumber teaching basic home repair classes 2 Saturdays a month earns an extra $500 doing something that takes 3 hours and costs him nothing but time he was already spending watching television. Number 2. Eliminating one debt completely. This one sounds simple. It is not easy. Nothing on this list that actually changes your financial life is easy. But it is simple. Your grandparents understood something that the modern financial system has spent decades obscuring. Every dollar you owe to someone else is a dollar that will cost you more than a dollar by the time you are done paying for it. A car payment of $300 a month over 5 years at 6% interest does not cost $18,000. It costs $23,000. And the car is worth $8,000 when you finish paying. Your grandfather drove a 6-year-old Buick, and he knew why. Pick one debt, the smallest one you carry. Focus every extra dollar at it until it is gone. Then redirect that payment to the next one. The moment you own something free and clear, the money that was leaving your account every month starts staying in it. That is not a financial strategy. That is arithmetic. Number 1. Owning something free and clear. This was the goal. The entire goal. Not a bigger house, not a newer car, not a higher credit limit or a more impressive portfolio statement. A paid-off house. In 1960, the average American paid off their mortgage in 15 to 20 years. They made extra payments. They skipped vacations to put lump sums toward principal. They refinanced only to shorten the term, never to pull cash out. And on the day the mortgage was paid, families literally burned the paper in the fireplace. That was the celebration. That was the moment financial freedom began. Because a family with no mortgage payment needs dramatically less income to live well. They can retire earlier. They can weather any storm. They can give more. The average American mortgage today stretches 30 years. Banks earn more interest the longer you pay. The 15-year mortgage your grandfather insisted on cost the bank decades of profit. That is exactly why nobody recommends it anymore. Every trick on this list, from the cash-only week to the envelope budget to the dividend reinvestment plan, every single one of them was pointing here. Spend less than you earn. Make what you own work. Pour the difference into something you can one day hold in your hand and say, "This is mine. Nobody can take it. Nothing I owe is attached to it. It is mine." Your grandparents knew all of this, not because they read it in a book or watched it on a screen, because they lived inside the consequences of getting it wrong and the dignity of getting it right. They called it common sense. They called it being careful. They called it not living above your means. They did not need a financial advisor to explain compound interest because they felt it in the weight of an envelope getting heavier every month. I am Lester, and this is Forgotten Wealth Tricks. My challenge to you is the same one I give at the end of every episode. Pick one trick from this list, not the most exciting one, the one that fits where you are right now. Try it this week, not next month, not when things settle down. This week. Because the retired postal worker in Kentucky did not wait for the perfect moment. He just started. And 30 years later, his family found $11,000 in a coffee can behind the water heater. Which honestly is exactly where I would hide mine too. Drop in the comments which trick you are starting with. I want to see which one lands. See you next time.